I'm Zach.
I am Christoph, and this is Too Much Geek Talk, where we're going to talk about Mandalorian, Episode 1.
Well, Chapter 9.
Oh, well, yeah, let me read that. You're
Episode
right.
1 of Season 2.
Season 2, yeah, that's why I said Episode 1. They're like, wait, what?
Um,
Is it really called Chapter 9? I didn't even see what the
yes,
title
it's
was
called
called.
Chapter 9. So,
Nice, okay.
I guess they're kind of going with the episodes, kind of like episode 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
They're going with chapters on this one. So I'll kind of start it off. I realized that this one really hammered home that this is more of a western. I don't know why in season 1 nothing really stuck out to me that like wow, this they're really basing this off of a western movie. But when he's on his speeder bike going through that desert, it's just like, oh, that's his horse.
Yeah, I
They're
see what
going
you're saying.
together
I
in
see
the
what you're saying.
desert, and it really hammered that home for me.
I mean, they do add it a little bit in the first season, the very first episode, the bounty hunter, him going after it. But I think they idolize more of the bounty hunter aspect, not the Western bounty hunter that what they're doing in season 2.
Yeah, and
And I
then like you had that
think that
like
way is better.
that you know isolated town in the middle of nowhere, ghost town kind of thing, and it was very western. And then the sheriff kind of thing
Yeah,
with
yeah. The
uh,
deputy.
the deputy, or I think his name was Cobb, who had the Mandalorian armor. Uh, so I thought that was really cool. And then them, I think they made a really conscious choice to kind of bring back that nostalgia factor for people, where we're on Tatooine, we're with
Oh
the
yeah.
Tusken Raiders.
Mm.
You get the Jawas there for a little bit, just kind of bringing it back to the original
Yeah.
trilogy.
Something we're used to seeing, really,
Yes, yeah.
instead of explaining doing a new planet. Yeah, I kind of like that too, and I just like the whole nostalgic factor of like we know Tatooine, we've been there before, we know Mos Eisley, and they had a new town. I forgot what the name was, but like the fact that there's like, oh, there's actually more settlements on this dusty planet than just Mos Eisley. Oh, okay,
Hmm.
cool. Let's see all the other settlements, and then they had it before the fall of the Empire and after it. I think that was kind of cool to see the two different maps and stuff.
Yeah.
I
I think
caught
that
the Western theme was in the music, especially when they're in the town, they're panning down through it. I was just like, wow, this sounds kind of like a Western movie kind of deal. So I liked it because it kind of took you back to what, like we were talking before, episode 4, 5, and 6, into that era. And when they mentioned the planet, it was like, wow, we're gonna go back there. And yeah, it was a cool. I loved everything about that episode.
I honestly was waiting for a tumbleweed to go through when they were panning through that stuff. I was like, "Where's the space tumbleweed or something?" Or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a bunch of Jabos in a circle. Like I was just
yeah.
or Bantafor or something. Like that
The
was
only
really
thing
cool.
missing was the swinging doors on the saloon when he
Yeah,
walked through,
Yeah.
honestly, because you heard
and
the Spurs
the
noise
little
when
clinky piano.
yeah, you heard the spores like the Spurs kind of when they walk a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
when they're
yeah,
missing that whole or that scene where the deputy should have came in. There should have been more people staring at him like that whole where he gets quiet
yeah.
and then they all go back to what they were doing. Like
I really liked that there was a couple of I like how they're really bringing in the celebrity cameos with this.
yeah, yeah.
So the I don't know if anybody knows this, but the guy at the fight in the beginning that he was asking about where the Mandalorians were, that was played by John Leguizamo.
Mm.
So that was him. I thought the bartender was going to be somebody crazy, but it wasn't.
He
It
looked
was
familiar though. Just I don't know, the shape of his head, his eyes, or something. He looked familiar, but
yeah, but
I can't place him.
I couldn't place him either. But then to have them reveal that there's another Mandalorian out there, but it's not actually a Mandalorian. As soon as he takes off his mask, I was like, I knew it. And
Dude, no,
it's
as soon as I saw him in that silhouette, I was like, "That's not Boba Fett. There's
yeah,
Yeah,
no
because
way.
right.
Boba
I was
Fett
like, he's
is
way
not
too
as."
scrawny. He's so
Yeah,
Scrawny.
that's what I
scrawny,
thought. That's what I
He's
and
thought.
I
I
was
was
scrawny.
like,
like,
that ain't Boba. And
and I was like, he would not let that armor go to that extreme. I don't care what he went through. He would not let that.
Right,
yeah,
But
right.
honestly, a little bit of my nerdness got happy. I was like, he survived the Sarlacc pit. I was just like, it's true. Like,
yeah, but also I was like, is that Boba Fett's armor? Like it
It
was
is.
there, but it was just so messed up that it was
Yeah,
almost making me question if it was really Boba Fett's armor or not. Like I knew it wasn't
yeah.
Boba Fett personally in the costume, but
Yeah, but you didn't know if it was actually his or not.
his
The
or
minute
not.
he took off the helmet and he put it down, and I saw that little bullet hole in the side, I was like, "Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah, I
his.
didn't even think about
That's
that. Yeah,
right there. That's
I
when I
got to
knew. I
go
was like,
back.
yep,
I got to check out
that's
that
Boba
bullet hole.
Fett."
But
And it's green with
Just the
the
fact that he
red fading.
yeah,
just the fact that he took his helmet off at all during that whole thing
Yeah,
told you
that's when I knew.
this guy
yeah,
is
I'm
not a
like, oh, it's
Mandalorian.
not a
Yeah.
Mandalorian at all, and I
I
really
okay,
like that.
honestly, I was hoping that like he was gonna take it off and it was gonna be a clone's face. That's what I was thinking. But then when it wasn't, I
Ooh.
was like, okay, you know what? He's not Boba Fett. I just thought, because technically Boba Fett isn't a Mandalorian, so it's like he doesn't have that creed. But I don't know.
Right.
It's
Um,
just wishful thinking.
I did like that reveal, and then Timothy Oliphant, who's one of my personal favorite actors, I was like, oh crap,
That's his name.
we're
I was like,
actually gonna get
what's his name?
we're actually getting somebody that I really like, and I was hoping that maybe he'd somehow kind of join the team, kind of like he had that team last season with Kree and
I feel like that's gonna happen. I feel
Kara
like.
and all that. I feel like they're gone. I feel like he's gonna maybe start gathering this new team for this big bad at the end, which is probably gonna be uh, uh, Gideon. At some
Yeah,
point, we're gonna have to fight
definitely.
him. So I think he's getting a team together, and I think Timothy Oliphant will come back for that. I think he
Yeah,
kind of
because
showed his battle
his
talent.
usefulness, really,
Yeah,
his
his usefulness.
skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you're right. I think that's what it's gonna be. I feel like that's what happened kind of last season. We got introduced to these cool characters, and then they got later on put into the story, for a bigger arc. So I feel like
Hmm.
that's what's gonna happen again. We might even get those characters from last season, but probably only a little bit. I think we're going to. Oh, I think they're going to more amplify and try to get in more new characters because that's the beauty of Star Wars. You can always add new characters to it, and it's like, oh,
Hmm.
that's cool. This character now or this person now. Like, I think that's the beauty of the Mandalorian. They can explore and dive deep into more Star Wars lore without actually having a original origin. And you could just say, like, last season, oh, there was just a shock trooper that she survived the war. So it's kind of like those type of characters that we're going to start seeing
Yeah.
more and more often.
Yep.
And then we get introduced to the dragon,
Yeah.
which not the
Wait,
dragon I was thinking about, but yeah.
before you even got there too, did you hear the Tusken Raiders when they were like, "Oh, it's in an empty Sarlacc pit"? And I was like, "Wait, empty? What do you mean empty?"
Yeah. So
I was just
I
like,
think I
"What?"
think Boba may have
That's what I
messed
was
up that
thinking.
Sarlacc
That's what I
pretty
was thinking
bad.
too.
So but we get him, and then we get the Tusken Raiders, which is
It's so
another just
weird that
nostalgia thing.
language.
Yeah, which is I didn't really I guess we never got that in any of the movies. I mean, we only got the
The
honking,
screaming.
the honking and the
Yeah.
screaming.
Yeah.
The you
Honky.
know
Uh-huh.
yeah. So we only ever got that. We never really got any conversations between anybody.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
I was so lost. I was like, it's like 10
so
minutes of
I
dialogue.
do think
Like,
that that's interesting that it's a little bit of sign language with actual
with
speaking to really
vocals,
get
yeah. Point across.
since I guess they don't have really inflection in their voice, so they can't
Yeah, because
tell any of
it's
that stuff.
squeak or high squeak. Yeah.
Um, but I want to know. Uh, I realized that the Mandalorians vocals when translating that stuff didn't really sound correct. So I'm wondering if it's like it's a second language to him, or it did
Well,
kind of sound like it was coming through a translator through his helmet. And I'm
yeah,
interested to see if that's something.
that's what I thought as well. Because the helmet has a lot of things, so I thought it
Hmm.
was like an amplifier. But then again, he wasn't on Tatooine for who knows how long in the first season. Maybe he picked up some traits. You never know.
Yeah.
Mandalorians. The true Mandalorians are survivor of their nature, so they will survive in any situation you put them in. So I feel like that was just him learning the natural tongue of the natives, really, just to know them. Because as you can see, he petted that dog like he knew that dog. I was just like, what the heck, is this
Oh,
your
I didn't
dog? Is
even
this your pack of hyenas in the canyon? Like, what the heck?
I didn't
And
even
then
think
when
about
the
that.
Tusken Raiders came out, I was like, oh, maybe he knows how to kind of speak their language, because he knew how to speak Jawas in the first
That's
season.
Yep.
true.
So it's like he
Yeah,
might
so
just
I'm
be
wondering if he
a
just
trait.
he's yeah, it's something that he knows, or if
You
that's a
go to school
translator
for
in his mask.
Tusken Raider language.
uh, But then we get a little bit of filler in there. I feel like it kind of got boring between meeting the Tusken Raiders and then actually fighting the dragon.
Yeah,
It
the whole
was
trying to
kind
get
of
the
like
town on the
filler.
same side.
But I just want to come out and say, why was loading up? I can't think of its name right now. I was totally talking about it the other day. So loading up explosives onto a bantha
Yeah.
and feeding it to the dragon and then blowing it sky high. Why was that not plan A?
Because they
Because
didn't.
they had a certain amount of time to fill, so they had, you got to do the one that's not going to make it,
But
and then
like,
the
I'm
obvious
True.
one.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like as they're loading up
It's
the
plan A, plan B type of thing.
Yeah,
Plan A doesn't work,
and
so we always got a plan B. Yeah.
and I texted to Zach when we first saw that worm go by. I said tremors, and
Yeah.
then when they're having
yeah.
trouble beating it, I was like, "Where's Burt Gummer when you need him?"
but
I thought that too. That's so funny.
but it's like putting those explosives underneath it, like I can already tell you this thing's impenetrable from the outside. Like it's
Yeah,
got armor on it. It's a
blow up.
dragon for all
It's
for
a
Christ's sake.
giant snake. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
so
sand snake.
why are
Like,
we doing that? Why are we burying it underneath as if it's gonna see the explosive and be like, oh no man, I'm out. I'm out. Like it's not gonna care if there's explosives there or not. It doesn't know what explosives are, but as they're loading up in the first place, the explosives on the bantha, I'm like, okay, they're gonna feed the bantha to the thing and then blow it up from the inside. That makes so much sense. And then they didn't do that, and I'm like, what the hell? And then the professor also brings up the fact that at the end, where they do eventually feed the bantha to him and they blow him up from the inside, he's like, why didn't Mando get out of there? And I'm like, well, he could have got out of there, but the thing that the bantha got the stake
yeah,
out of the ground and he had to hold him there,
that Bantha's
they
got to
that's
run.
a really convenient plot twist to get him swallowed up by this
Of course,
dragon.
like that was. I saw that the minute the Tusken Raider hit that thing. Well, before you go in there, it was hilarious the first time they did it, and the worm goes after the Tusken Raider. I thought that was hysterical. I was laughing so fucking hard because I had a feeling that was gonna happen, but I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. I was like, it happened. I was like, that's great. But yeah, no. To go back to your point, I think that was such a. I saw that when they put the bantha in the post, I was like, that post is not going to survive. That shit is going to go. Whoop. You guys try to stake something in sand, that's not going to last. Like, but yeah, I think that was just deposition for him. They're like, oh, we need him to get inside the belly somehow, voluntarily, really. So it's like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
Could the fact that Mando got swallowed and he got out of the, could that be a setup to make it plausible that Boba Fett could have survived the same way?
That's exactly what it is. I think
Yeah.
that's what the
Oh.
setup was
Yeah.
that like even though you got swallowed whole, you can still get yourself out of there as long as you blow him
Right.
up. And
Right.
Bubble had that rocket, so I'm pretty sure he blew up
Who knows? Yeah.
Sarlacc. I want to see that in a flashback or something, but that's Oh,
Yeah.
before we move on, did you guys notice his speeder? Did you guys notice the parts where it came from?
It was a pod racer. It's like
It
the
was a
half
pod
of a
racing
pod
part.
racer. Yeah.
It was actually Luke's pod racing parts. If you go
Really?
back and you actually look at it, yeah,
Huh?
it has
Really?
3 of the wings taken off, and there's only 1 wing left. But that's
Yeah.
from
Right. Right.
Anakin Skywalker's pod racing.
Hmm.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yep, I
I
caught that
didn't
as soon
like.
as I saw that. I was like, oh,
They took some kind of liberty when he's cruising through the town, and it sounds like it's a Harley idling
yeah.
through the town. I was like, no, that's not right.
They should have
Yeah.
tuned that a little bit, made it a little bit more
I was like,
scientific,
that thing shouldn't be making any sound driving through there at all.
right? It should just be quiet, just air.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay.
Or at least like a jet noise. Or I mean,
Yeah,
we've heard the
Yeah.
speeder types going through the forest of Endor when Leia's chasing the stormtroopers through there. But like, yeah, it shouldn't sound like a motorcycle or
Yeah.
some
At
kind
least,
of
or
horse clopping
yeah,
or something like that. If you want to be
yeah,
Western about it.
something. Put two sounds together, try to make a different sound from it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So then we finally get to the end.
I was so happy when I saw this. I think I shed a tear.
I got
Legit,
the
I think I had a
chills.
tear coming down.
I definitely had the chills.
Yeah,
Um,
I, you want to say it? You want to go ahead and say
what
what it was?
it was Boba. Boba
Mm-hmm.
Fett
Get old Boba.
turns around without his armor, obviously.
Clearly,
Watching his armor take off from the planet.
his
Uh,
father's armor.
Played by Jango Fett.
Well, the
So
actor of
the actor of Jango Fett, which is
very awesome.
pretty
If
full
you're
circle right there.
very full circle, complete to our debate and just how Star Wars loves to have those callbacks. I think that was a brilliant call on their part. And what I'm very excited for, if those who've seen Clone Wars, yeah, I know the professor has, we might get Rex. We might get Rex and some other 501st. So that's why I was really excited. I was excited for Boba and the fact that we're going to see actually Boba Fett again on screen. I got very excited for it, but I think I'm more excited to see the clones and all that stuff because they're gonna have to use him more than just Boba's character, and I think what a lot of people have a misconstrued about Boba Fett, he's not a Mandalorian. He was Jango Fett's actual son because throughout the cloning process, Jango wanted one clone that had no acceleration growth or enhanced intelligence. So he actually grew up and was raised in the post Empire. Once they took the ruling over, and I think when we see him in Empire Strike Back, I want to say he's 35, but I'm not too sure. I don't have the time crunched the number correctly. So I think now he's probably supposed to be like 60, 70 years old. So I'm just going to see how. I'm just very intrigued to see how they're going to deal with his character. I honestly would love to see him back in his suit. I don't think we'll ever get that, but that's just my hopes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. It was they they know how to make an entrance with the Mandalorian. I mean,
That is true.
we start off season one with finding Baby Yoda at the end, and now we get Boba Fett again. I was
I don't know
between
what's
it being
better,
Boba Fett
actually.
or we were gonna get what's her name from Clone
Ahsoka.
Wars, Asuka. If we were gonna get
Ahsoka, yeah.
her from right off the
Yeah.
bat, but I think that's
I
about a
no.
mid.
What I was hoping for was of the leader of the Mandalorians when we last see the group with Ahsoka. I forgot her name. But she's supposed to be in this series too, but who knows? But I just hope they have. I just want them to actually show how Moff got the
The
black
dark
saber
black saber.
because last time we seen it, it was in the good guy's hand. So I don't know. I want to see that transpire.
Yeah,
And
I would love
after
to see
seeing
it.
this episode, it's like now it's like, so how are they going to fit in Asuka and all of this stuff too?
Yeah,
I mean, where
that's what I'm
where's
like.
she going to come in? How's that
Hmm.
story going to get to that point to where she shows up? That's going to be interesting to see.
I think she's gonna be one of those team members.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
But
most likely, yeah,
are we gonna get lightsaber Ahsoka? Are we gonna get what kind
yeah,
of Ahsoka are we gonna get? Because I
yeah.
knew
We're
in
going to
the
get the after the Clone Wars
yeah
episodes and all that. Is it that the Ahsoka we're going to get, or we're going to get the beginning one?
we might get after Rebels Ahsoka.
Yeah,
Honestly, yeah, because now that I think about it, Rebels was a very good, more of an expansion, but that was kind of tying in more of the new movies, really, and so it was kind of like a back and forth type of thing. But I feel like that Ahsoka at the very end was wise of her years and stuff like that. I think she had a lightsaber, but I can't remember. And we just gotta, I guess wait
Maybe
and see what
maybe
happens.
maybe she'll also kind of teach Baby Yoda a little
The ways.
the ways of the Force a little bit, possibly teach him how to kind of use that.
Now let me ask you this: do you want to see Baby Yoda grow up, or do you want to keep him as a baby? I was hoping kind of like the Groot aspect, where we're gonna get from Galaxy. They went from Baby Groot to Teenage Groot. I was kind of hoping for that
Yeah,
growth,
but I mean,
but
if you look at Baby Yoda compared to Yoda,
well,
I
yeah, no one likes
mean,
Yoda.
Yoda just
Yoda
like
like
it
nobody.
doesn't look that different, honestly.
Yeah, it
It's
really
just a little
doesn't.
bit of gray hair and he can talk,
Yeah,
but it's not that
and bite.
different. So I don't think an adolescent Yoda will look any different than
That's
a
true.
baby
That's true.
Yoda or
I guess I just want him to talk and say something else and actually learn the Force and how to use it. And I don't know.
yeah,
This
but I
Star Wars
think that
fan wanted more.
unless they go from season 2 to season 3 and do this like insane time lapse of everything, like we go years ahead,
Yeah,
I don't think you're gonna get that just because of how. I mean, what is he? He's like 50. They said.
80 or 50. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
50
But
and
what's the time lapse from season 1 to this season? It looks like
I
a
don't think
matter of weeks,
hardly
months, maybe.
anything.
Yeah, right.
Hardly anything. I
One thing I
do.
will add, I love when the Baby Yoda closed the dome on itself. I thought that was the cutest
Yeah,
thing
that was
ever.
hilarious. Oh, it's
I
about to hit the fan.
Right?
I
The
do
two
want
pigs fighting too. I was like, that is hilarious. Like,
I do want to talk about when they landed on Tatooine and we get Amy Sedaris again as the dock master lady there, and she's like, "How much do you want
mechanic,
for it?" Just kidding, but not really.
but serious,
But
yeah,
serious.
yeah,
And all I could think was, "That's everybody right now. How
yeah.
much? How much do you want for Baby Yoda?"
How much do you want for this child? Like, come on, dude. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And what is his age like? Is he like dog years or reverse dog years or something? I mean,
I
what if, I mean,
do
so
we
he doesn't
know?
look like he's grown much since the last
Right?
season. So
Yeah. Do we know
You see,
how old was
that's the
Yoda?
beauty thing. Yeah, we don't know the race of Yoda. No one
yeah,
knows where
right,
Yoda came from. So I think that's why the last season was such like a mind opener to all us nerds because we're like we don't know anything about Yoda.
yeah,
How the hell do you guys have another Yoda? What is it? Is it a clone? Is it a baby? Who did Yoda have
right,
kids
right.
with? Like it's all these questions. Like
Yeah,
I still think it's a clone to be honest with you, but
a clone.
that's just me. I think it's a clone.
It's a good
I think
good
Yeah, you
point.
think
Palpatine
so?
cloned it. I think so. I think Palpatine cloned it because he needed he needs a body to put his force spirit into. I'm sorry, that's deep, but yeah.
Okay,
All right, that's a good
we'll
theory.
see.
That's not bad.
Yeah, because that's what I think happened in Rise of Skywalker. That's why he was stuck to the machine because he couldn't use his body. His Force Ghost was still in it, but he needed another host, and I think that's what he was going to do with Kylo Ren or somebody else. Once they get to that point of power, he was just going to take their body. That's what I feel like because I think the Darth Plagueis, I think that's what he would do. He would take his Force spirit and put it inside of another vessel, and that's how he lived on for so long until Palpatine learned his ways and killed him. Little trivia.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's about wraps it up for episode 1 of season 2, chapter 9 of Mandalorian. Uh, it's a lot to take in.
I was gonna say that's a mouthful, man.
That is a mouthful. But thanks everybody. Hit subscribe,
This
like
is
this
the way.
video, and this is the way. Bye everybody.